In the 19th century, where slavery and spectacle often intertwined, there lived a man who defined every label they tried to put on him. His name was Thomas, Blind Tom Wiggins, born into bondage, dismissed as a sideshow freak, and yet celebrated as one of the greatest musical prodigies the world has ever heard. This is the extraordinary story of Blind Thomas Wiggins, a genius trapped by the times whose gift could not be silenced. Tom Wiggins was born blind in 1849 on a plantation in Georgia. Enslaved from birth, he was thought by many to be useless because of his blindness. But Tom, his world wasn't shaped by sight, it was shaped by sound. He absorbed every noise, birdsong, rain on the roof, the rustle of the wind. And when he first touched the piano, at just 4 years old, it was like his fingers had been waiting for the keys. Without instruction, Tom began to play, repeating complex pieces after hearing them just once. His enslavers saw not a boy, but an opportunity. They displayed him at fairs, carnivals, and private parties, making him a sideshow curiosity, the blind slave who could mimic anything that he heard. Tom was sold, along with his family, to General James Bethune, who recognized the profit in Tom's gift. Bethune became his manager, taking him on tours across the country and later, the world. Crowds gathered not just to hear Tom's brilliance, but to gawk at what they saw as a spectacle, a black, blind enslaved pianist who could play Beethoven, Mozart, and original compositions with mind-boggling precision. Tom's performances amazed even most skeptical critics. He could play with one hand the melody of Yankee Doodle and the other Fisher's hornpipe, all while singing a third tune. His memory was photographic. He learned entire concertos by ear after a single listening. Some called him the human phonograph. Blind Tom's earnings, estimated today's terms to be millions, lined the pockets of white handlers. Tom himself remained a legal ward, no control over his fortune or his freedom. Tom didn't just play the works of others. He composed over 100 pieces, some inspired by the world he heard around him. His most famous was the Battle of Manassas, was a sonic recreation of the Civil War clash. Cannons boomed on the low keys, bugles blared in high notes, and the chaos from the battle echoed through the piano. Tom's artistry was undeniable. Critics who came to mock often left in awe. Mark Twain, among others, counted himself a fan. Yet Tom was trapped in a cruel paradox, celebrated as a genius but treated as property. After emancipation, legal battles over his guardianship continued. Tom spent his life shuttled between handlers who profited from his gift. Tom Wiggins died in 1908, still under the care of a guardian. In his lifetime, he had played for presidents, princes, filled concert halls from New York to London. But as the decades passed, his name faded, his genius overshadowed by the exploitation that framed his life. Today, scholars and musicians are rediscovering Blind Tom, not as a sideshow oddity, but as a brilliant, complex artist who defied a society determined to use him. His story asks us to look deeper, beyond the labels of the time, beyond the chains of exploitation, and into the soul of a man whose music spoke louder than prejudice ever could. Because Blind Tom wasn't just a freak of nature, he was a force of it.